quite bizarrely, it's steaming hot here in the city of London and I'm melting my arse off. But there's no reason to melt your arse off because Leica have got a super hot new product out. Leica always got 1 foot in the past, mechanical perfection, all that stuff. 1 foot in the future, tech stuff. And Leica always do stuff related to street photography. So here I am. Let's check it out. Jesus, you really do shrink in your old age. This new product is taking Leica in a new direction. Don't know where they're poking their feet with this one, but it doesn't involve street photography. It does involve hands though, or rather, wrists. Because this is a brand new Leica watch. You what? I know, right? Anyway, what is this Leica watch? Yeah, I know, who would have thunk it? Leica have introduced a new watch, and you know what? They haven't got their foot in the future. But they've definitely got their feet in the past with this one, because it's not a smartwatch. They've issued Bluetooth for more conventional metal teeth. They could have gone all out and put 0.95 all over it, but they didn't. They could have put a big red dot on it, but they didn't. No big red dots. Well, it does have a small red dot, but it's functional. This is most definitely not Leica merch. It's barely even related to photography other than the brand itself, so I'm gonna have to chuck in some random shots to at least make this video vaguely photography related. It's very Bauhaus, very German, although it's quite subdued, it's still kind of bold at the same time. German not as in sausages and sauerkraut, but think Glashütte. If you're not a watch nerd, think of googling Glashütte. It's 41mm, which is not big by modern standards, but it's definitely not small. It does wear big because it's all dial. It's shouty in a non-shouty way, if that makes sense. If it were a cry for help, it would be like, help, help. I'm in here. I'm trapped inside the microphone. Ooh, look, I'm a watch. Ooh, watch. Fancy watch. I'm like a watch. Or like that. It's got quite a bit of thickness to it at 14mm. Then with chunky lugs and slab sides, it's a watch that sits quite proud on the wrist. Not only has Leica released one new fancy luxury high-end watch, but they've released 2 of them. They've got the Leica L1 and the L2. This is the L1, which means it's got less stuff than the L2. But what stuff do you need? It shows you when you're going to be late. It'll remind you how many days you have until payday, and a power reserve indicator that on full charge indicates 60 hours of TikToking. The L2 adds a Gmt function for doing exactly the same thing but in other time zones. Both are powered by a Leica movement, which is Swiss for actually it's made in Germany, which looks slick in a utilitarian way. Not overly showy, but if you want to show off, it has a party trick in the form of a crown that clicks. Yes, a bit like a shutter button. Is a nice action, and that is supposed to be like the shutter button of a camera, but don't click it as often as you click the shutter button on your camera, because otherwise you'd be late all the time. Push it once to stop the time on the watch, reset the seconds for adjusting the time, and you can set the time like that. Push it again to start the time. The red dot changes from red to white to indicate if the time has been stopped or not. There's more clicky action though. This button is for changing date in a click. I mean, it's not like you're going to use this button much. I mean, like, what, 5 times a year? Unless you forget to wind the watch. And yes, you do need to wind the watch, because it's manual wind. Full manual. It's just like the beauty of shooting with an M. Unless you've got it on aperture priority and auto ISO. You know, I was a little bit skeptical at first, but it's actually quite a nice looking watch. But at this kind of price point, there's a lot of competition. Competition that are dripping in watchmaking history, and that's what a lot of potential luxury watch buyers are suckers for, and what marketing people love preying on. Props has to go to Leica for going gung-ho in a new direction. Only time will tell if Mr. Gung or Mr. Ho will buy the L1 or L2. It's probably not going to be for those who like their watches to be instantly recognisable. But then who is the L1 and L2 for then? If you like your watches like you like your cameras, well now you can have exactly that. Right down to the brand name.